Before I get into the video, I need to be clear that this is just my opinion. Everything I say is purely subjective, so if you got a problem with that, go make your own list, or let me know in the comments what your top 5 anime are. Starting with honorable mentions, we got JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean. I can't express enough how much I love Stone Ocean. I binged all 12 episodes within 2 days. I haven't binged an anime that hard since high school. That's something I could never imagine my adult self doing. The reason I have it in honorable mentions is because the series is still ongoing. Otherwise, I would have easily put that shit in number 1. When it comes to David Productions, they know what they're doing. Parts 1 through 5 were major hits. JoJo's writing, art style, voice acting, and music are always treated with the loving care it deserves. So based on David Productions' history, I can't imagine them fucking up the anime adaptation. But for now, we'll just have to wait and see. Last honorable mention is Tokyo Revengers. Even though this anime came out in 2021, I watched and finished it this year in 2022. Otherwise, I would have easily put it on the list. In short, the story is about Takamichi, a 26-year-old man living a boring life when suddenly his ex-girlfriend is caught in a car accident. He finds out that he's able to time travel back 12 years into the past and decides to use this power to save his ex-girlfriend. And along the way, he also gets into some gang shit. This is a series I recommend if you want to have a fun time. The music slaps and has some well-written drama since the show revolves around gang culture. And a topic like that has endless potential for an emotional story. As of writing this script, I'm almost caught up with the manga, which currently has 238 chapters. That should already tell you how much I love this series. Now onto my top 5. So at number 5 we got Poi Poi Molcar. The anime is about cute fluffy hamster cars doing cute things, such as racing, eating, dancing, partying, etc. There's no complex narrative, deep hidden symbolism, or fat mommy milkers. It's just a cute, simple anime about hamster cars having a fun time. It's an anime that anyone can pick up and finish within a day, since each episode is 2 minutes long. Definitely my favorite turn your brain off anime of 2021. Very relaxing and very cozy. At number 4, we got SSSS Dynazenon. It's probably the most underrated anime I've seen in 2021. The story is about a group of 5 people. Each of them possess a part of a giant mech called Dynazenon, and they fight kaijus that are controlled by an evil team who seek destruction. It's the perfect premise of a typical Saturday morning cartoon, but despite having a very simple premise, there's a lot more that goes on in the series that might be a turnoff for some people. Unlike most Studio Trigger anime that are loud and in your face, the Quadruple S series is very subtle. And what I mean by that is that there's no music that plays outside of battles, and the camera angles are placed in non-traditional ways, making scenes and interactions more natural and atmospheric. And sometimes this anime can get philosophical with its themes, such as kaijus defying logic, therefore representing freedom in the metaphorical sense. Or that as we grow up, we place restrictions on ourselves to fulfill certain social quotas, therefore restricting our free will or some bullshit like that. Which is why I'm not surprised why this anime is underrated. As much as I'd love to recommend this anime to people, I can't confidently recommend it to just anyone. It's not an anime that anyone could just simply pick up. But personally, I love these kind of anime that make you think. I love them just as much as anime that drain my brain cells. At number 3, we got Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2. After hearing about what happened to Kyo Annie back in 2019, I was absolutely devastated since I've watched a lot of their anime over the years. That tragedy was so horrible that I would have been fine with them just taking their time to heal up, because I wasn't expecting Kyo Annie to be at their full potential after experiencing something that traumatizing. So when I heard that Season 2 was in the works, I was curious to see how it was going to turn out, and lo and behold, they proved me wrong. Kyo Annie was coming back stronger than ever. I had a blast watching Dragon Maid Season 2. It had everything that made the first season so great. Fun, energetic music, lighthearted character interactions, god-tier fight animations, various viewpoints on life, its emphasis on family values, and high-quality fan service, baby. Like, holy fucking shit, have you seen those big fat mommy milkers? Getting back on topic, I enjoyed every second watching Dragon Maid Season 2. This anime is proof of their fighting spirit, which just goes to show that they truly have risen from the ashes. At number 2, we have Wonder Egg Priority. The anime is about four high school girls who try to revive their late friends that have committed suicide. They're able to do this by purchasing items known as Wonder Eggs from a gachapon. Inside those eggs are girls that have also committed suicide. When customers fall asleep with the Wonder Eggs, they're transported to a dreamlike labyrinth where their job is to protect the victim of that egg from monsters, while also fighting a boss that represents that victim's source of trauma. By rinsing and repeating this process, they'll eventually be able to revive their late friends. I love everything about this series, from its wacky ass writing, its systematic world build revolving around the Wonder Eggs, and the characters ranging from their personalities, relationship dynamics, and what they're fighting for. Another thing I love about this series is that the anime isn't afraid of taking risks when it comes to addressing dark, sensitive topics such as depression, loneliness, identity crisis, abandonment, regret, emotional trauma, and suicide, just to name a few. It's something I don't see most forms of media talk about enough. Yet those are things humans constantly struggle with on a daily basis, which is why I have so much respect for this anime. And before some of y'all ask, yes, I have seen the OVA. It's hot garbage, which is why I put Wonder Egg priority in number 2 on my list. But I feel like the OVA deserves its own video. If I'm gonna roast something, I want to make sure I do it right. And finally, we have Mushoku Tensei. This was an anime that was recommended to me last minute by a friend. And when I say last minute, I mean December 2021 last minute. At first I wasn't hyped about it, since I thought this was just gonna be another generic isekai anime. Person gets hit by a truck, they get reincarnated to a fantasy world, they fuck around, etc. But even though I was right, this anime still caught me by surprise. I honestly didn't expect to enjoy the shit out of this anime. Watching this anime was like riding a roller coaster of emotions. The story starts off pretty ordinary, with the main character getting to know the setting he's in, growing up, making friends, and learning how to use his magic and shit. At first it doesn't seem like anything special. It sounds like your typical slice of life anime in a fantasy world, but despite having a simple story premise, it makes up for it with its comedy and fan service. I've never laughed harder at an isekai anime in my life. The jokes are well written in the sense that it doesn't rely on slapstick humor, while also treading on the risque side with its sexual innuendo. But over time, this anime gets pretty dark and continues to slowly escalate as the story goes on. Without going into major spoilers, you start to learn more about the main character and his past life before he was isekai'd. He was an ugly bastard that got bullied before becoming a complete shut-in, and there are times where he's met with challenges that remind him of his past trauma. There are times he's afraid, but deep down he wants to redeem himself. And with the second chance at life, he's able to achieve that. It's something I don't see most isekai doing. You see, a common problem with isekai anime is that you would generally have a main character, and when they get isekai'd into a new world, their past life is completely disregarded. You'll never see or hear about their past life ever again, which is treated more like an afterthought and makes you wonder why they even bothered including it in the first place. But in Mushoku Tensei, the main character's past carries over to his next life, making it a contributing factor to his growth as a character. Speaking of character development, it's not just the main character that goes through it, but his teammates also go through significant change as well. Without going into spoilers, I used to hate the shit out of them, but over time they eventually grown on me because of how well the writing is. You know character development is amazing when you start liking characters you previously hated. I'm not going to explain any further since I want to make sure people watch this anime. There's a reason why this anime is highly rated on my anime list, so I'm hoping you guys give Mushoku Tensei or the previous anime I mentioned a chance. Anyways, that's the video. If you enjoyed it, maybe you should like and subscribe to the channel. Who knows, maybe you'll discover new anime from my content, or maybe your anime crush will ask you out. I'd see ya.